許さない。許さないんだから。よくもここまで私を侮辱してくれたわね。
Rip Drug Lord Ren. Shiro with a boner. It's not even Shiro with a boner. I mean, that's the screen it shows on, but when you load it up, it's just, you know, it's some rocks. It's kind of boring. It doesn't actually show the, you know, doesn't show Saber with her shirt a little open, unfortunately. Hey everybody, Renegade 67 and or 8 here. Eventually it will be 68. I'm gonna get around to getting these up on YouTube, but I don't know. I got stuff on my plate. Literally, I have some food on my plate over there. I was eating some of it. Anyways, hi. So, last time on Fate, Archer died, I guess. And that sucks. But apparently he did a lot of damage to Berserker, so Ilya's all mad and stuff. She'd probably be less mad and more, I don't know, like a scared little girl if Berserker actually died. I mean, he did die, but you know, he cheated or whatever, so he's not actually dead. He's only mostly dead. When do we reach 69? 69 what exactly? What did you eat? I don't know, I had some chicken and some food left over from a dinner. Anyways, I won't forgive them. I'll never forgive them. How could they insult me so? That's a good question. What's going on? Right. No, I know what's going on. Why did I say what's going on? I don't know. Sometimes words just have to come out of my mouth. Deserved better. Oh, as in if Heracles was not a berserker. Of course. His master's voice echoes. With that, the small light of rationality vanishes. Oh, you mean Ilya's rationality? I mean, she was, yeah, okay. If she had a small light. Oh, never mind. Okay, Herc's light. Oh, did he, maybe Herc, when he's coming back to life for a second, he has rationality before his control goes berserk again? Maybe that's how it works. Maybe that's his weakness. When he's coming back to life for a couple seconds, when he's sane, he's at his weakest? I don't know. He's only a berserker now. His role is to defeat his opponents and crush them as his master pleases. Should fix your mic setup, Ilya? Ilya's mic setup? For a second, you were I was freaked out because you said you should fix your mic setup, and I'm like, oh no, what did I do wrong? Have you healed, Berserker? You'd think after the first 5 times you would have calmed down a bit about his deaths. You'd think the 6th time would, you know, I guess the 5th time was not the charm. The 6th time was the charm, or whatever. Dash. He does not even need to answer. Herc is Green Hulk, but he's not green. Green? Hold on. Is that green to you? He looks a lot more brown, but okay. Also, Hulk is green. So what do you mean Herc is Green Hulk? Hulk is Green Hulk. Oh, you probably meant Hulk is Green Herc? Anyways, Ilya was probably in shock the whole fight, so only after... Oh, Greek! Oh, I see. That makes sense. Okay. You see, a slight typo there. Oh, it says Greek. I read green. I did that thing that it's a human thing where you read words and you think you know what they're gonna say, and so you don't actually read them. You just infer them based on, like, I see Gree and then I see Hulk and I'm like, Hulk is green, so I read Renegade Herc is Green Hulk, even though that does say Greek Hulk, which makes sense. But the word Greek was not on my mind, whereas green was. Therefore, don't skip steps, kids. Make sure to read the whole word. He does not even need to answer. Wounds that are not fatal will be fully healed within a few minutes. But restoring everything would take 3 days. Oh shoot, is she going to take the whole 3 days? Oh boy. Maybe, is she going to let her pride get the best of her? Be like, I have to kill them now, even though if I waited 3 days, they probably wouldn't stand a chance. But if I try now, they might stand a chance, which is why we stand a chance. Because of that whole hubris thing. Well, Bruce Banner, who becomes Hulk in most iterations, I think is just American, unless I'm wrong. I don't know. I can't wait that long. It's fine. We're gonna kill them right now. Hubris. That's some nice chicken. She doesn't want anyone calling her chicken. Dash, 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 dash. Archer, always about not underestimating. He only said it the one time. Wow. The giant silently objects. Oh, shoot. So I guess for this last little bit while he has his sanity before it goes away, he's actually, you know, saying something to his master like, nah, that's a stupid. Wolverine is syrup land. Oh, Canada. So, like, the same thing as me. So, what? Alright, Canada pride. It is his instinct. Hold on, is that true? It's not that I don't believe you. It's just that I don't believe you. What the heck is this on my screen? Oh, what did you do? Did you put chicken on my screen? That's what I get. That's what you get, Inu Hanyu. Hold on. Wolverine nationality. Canada. He is from Canada. Alright. Canada pride. It is his instinct. Berserker has an intuition like Saber when it comes to fighting. So you mean like how Saber stupidly went to fight Assassin in a terrible condition? Okay, okay, I'm sorry. I'm always gonna be salty about that. The enemies can certainly be mowed away easily. But it'll be a different story if Servant Saber has recovered enough to use her Noble Phantasm. So, I guess this is from Herc's point of view, which is kind of interesting. I think that one sentence of Archer's defines all of his personality, his realism, his attitude towards people in general. Berserker will not yield to a mere holy sword, but there is a small chance. Oh, is there? Are you foreshadowing your own death in this weird inner monologue that isn't inner monologue, but it is kind of? His instinct tells him that if he is to fight that servant, he should engage her in perfect condition. Okay, that's probably a good instinct, but, you know, you're kind of berserk, and it's hard to tell Ilya, and also if you could tell Ilya, she wouldn't be convinced in this mental state. What? 5 should be enough, right? 5 what? 5% full power? What are you talking? If that's what you mean, like 5% full power, I think you're really underestimating them. They're no match for you even without the God Hand. They're no match for you even without the God Hand. What God Hand? I'm sorry, what? You mean Herc has it? Is this like some kind of Noble Phantasm that he had to use to beat Archer? Is that how Archer got killed? And you used it so it's got to regenerate so you can't use your God Hand? You and your lingo. Or what? Are you gonna let them go after they made fun of me so much? Well, I mean, you know, it's all fun and games until you die. That's exactly, you know, you're not supposed to give in to the people making fun of you. That's, you know, a bad idea, usually, so. 3 out of 10 IGN? God Hand? Is that I don't want to look it up because I know it's a term in this game, but apparently it's an actual PS2 game. I'm sure Archer is, yeah, that's probably the smart, well, is it the smart thing to do? It depends. Depends on the circumstance. Archer taunting Ilya, I guess she's already in a pissed mood. If Archer did taunt Ilya a bunch, she would want to, you know, just go plow through them because of, you know, her pride. But, like, and she's exactly the kind of person that would fall for that kind of ploy. Because for her, for the most part, it's not a ploy because of her, you know, position of power. Oh shoot, Guts is the real Berserker. Let's go. Guts is the Berserker. That makes sense. Yeah, but it depends though, because it depends on how much Archer actually injured. If Archer had a good sense of how strong Berserker really was and how much he'd actually done to him, and, you know, had an idea that maybe Rin would do the thing with Saber, or had faith that she would do something so Saber could fight back, then, yeah, I think luring Ilya away from the smart move is probably the smart move, but that's only if he knows the smart move is the smart move, which is smart. But okay. Ellipses. But Archer, I think, is smart enough to be smart enough to be smart.
そうでしょ。誰一人として私の森からは逃がさないわ。うん。リンとセーバーはバーサーカーにあげるね。殺すなりもてあそぶなり好きにしていいわ。
But you still want to be the one to get Shiro, huh? Right? I won't let anyone escape my forest. Yeah, I'll give you Rin and Saber. Kill them or toy with them. You can do whatever you want with them. She still has that look even though no one's around. That's interesting. That says that that look isn't just a mask. I mean, yes, Berserker's around, but I don't think she thinks of Berserker really as a person. And so, she is the kind of person, like, she doesn't really think about, it's not because that, it could have been that she just puts on that look in front of people to, you know, make them afraid, but that involves more thinking and less instinct. And I guess she's definitely more of an instinct person where she just puts on this face instinctually to make people afraid because of how she was brought up. So it's not that she thinks about the fear, just like how she's not thinking about how it's a dumb move to go after them. At a certain point, instinct in a fight is a good thing, overthinking, but like, you know, when you're in the heat of the moment. But this is not the heat of the moment. But, so it's, yeah. I mean, I kind of already knew that she was like a pure instinctual, but this, you know, sells it a little bit more. I won't let anyone escape my forest. They'll give you Rin and Saber. Kill them or toy with them. You can do whatever you want with them. You can still do horrible things while being innocent. Oh, of course. I mean, Ilya's the most innocent character in this game, for sure. But the girl jumps down from the stairs. If it was any other character, you'd say, no, they're not smart enough to be smart enough to be smart enough. But in this case, they are smart enough to be smart. The girl jumps down the stairs. Through the rubble, she walks to the exit without a care for the bloody berserker. In that moment... Oh, shoot, what about that moment? The girl stops once as if remembering something. Which part are you remembering? Something about Shiro or something about Archer? Let's start the hunt, Berserker. And you use the word hunt. Interesting. She stops as if remembering something. So, there's a couple thoughts to this. Either the thing that she's remembering could be, it's possibly something from her past where she herself was hunted and you know, this term hunt was drilled into her when she was learning, you know, how to fight other people by being the one in the position that others would eventually, she would put them in. Or from the start, she was told to hunt people, but, you know, I think you learn best through experience in that case, but you say it's just a phrase, but based on the fact that she just said, let's remember something, and let's start the hunt, I don't think it is just a phrase. That would, I feel like there's a clear connection here, but... But you can't kill Saber's master quickly, okay? Even if Nasu does like weird descriptions, I feel like you're teetering, Inu Hanyu. Just pulling out, oh, it's just a phrase, you're thinking too much into it. I like to think too much into it. Don't tell me that my thinking too much is too much. My much is gonna be as much as it muches. You can't kill Saber's master quickly, right, Shiro? I'm gonna kill Shiro in the worst way possible. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Oh, boy. Okay. Well, that's nice. Shiro still did everything wrong. He led her in this direction. Well, no, it's not just his fault. It's the people that brought her up in this way in the first place. It's a combination of circumstances, really, but... Smiling, the girl leaves the castle. Kill him in the worst way possible. Well, that's pleasant. The sun should come up soon. The forest is like her yard. Yeah, starting the hunt. This definitely seems like the kind of thing with the forest around, hunting in the forest, setting out traps. This seems like the exact kind of thing that she's probably trained to do, or was even put in the position of being hunted in the past, just to learn the forest, and then eventually hunted more people for her training, potentially. I could see that as being a thing. The forest is like her yard. No matter where her prey are hiding, it should be no problem for her to find them. What is the greatest game? Man! Well, I mean, yeah, there's that. As their targets, they only have, well, in this case, two of them are womans, but, you know. They only have a few minutes of life remaining. Oh, you mean because they're her targets? Do you realize that Saber's, you know, her power is draining? It's almost better if you do, because then you might think, oh, Saber's too weak to do anything. And so that might trick you into it. If you don't know that, then it's just hubris. But it'd be better if it was a combination. Debatable. Interlude out. Alright, cool. So, I don't know why, but I was forced to leave the ruin. What do you mean? Because, are they, like, changing? Tosaka pushed me out, saying that girls have adjustments afterward changing. Okay. And I gotta change outside? Jeez. Exactly. Guys gotta change too and all that junk, but... and they have junk. That's a word for penis. Ilya's prob's doing all this hubris because she thinks she got rid of that one X Factor, Archer. Yeah. Saber secretly being better is arguably also an X Factor, but it depends. Ilya should know about a way for Saber to get more power, even if she doesn't consider it. It might be similar to why Rin didn't want to bring it up to Shiro, because she's like, no, you can't forsake your magic. Maybe in Ilya's mind, it's not even just, no, you shouldn't, I wouldn't want to, it's just you can't. Like, because she was raised to be like, you have to do this. So she hadn't considered the fact that Shiro might give it up, which might be a way for Saber to, you know, etc., 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 assuming Ilya's thought of all that, which, given that she seems to know most of what's going on, I assume she would have thought of that possibility, but then considered it would not happen in a similar sense to, like, there's no way an unknown factor could be this strong kind of thing. I grumble, leaning against the wall. It sounds like an excuse, because it is. Oh, Rick Owens was her. Oh, of course. I knew all about Rick Owens. Thank you for the follow. Ellipses. Remembering, I frantically shake off my worldly desires. Worldly? You mean like, the Saber, you know, down under? Is that what you mean by... worldly. It depends on what you mean by worldly, I guess. I have to forget about it for now. I won't survive if I'm submerged in memories of Saber. Oh, that's exactly what you meant by worldly desires. And more than anything, it's impolite to Saber. I mean, sure it is, but, like, you know... I mean, okay, no, to be fair, once you get in the thick of the fight, you know, impolite thoughts will probably distract you. But then there's also the idea that, what if you got to get your impolite urges out of the way, so that when you're in the thick of the fight, you're not thinking about them because you already, you know, went through with them. But then again, at what point are you through with them? Some people might not be satisfied until they get to the stage of rape. Anyways. You know, then again, I don't think we would have to do the rape, because it seems like Saber is reciprocating. Okay, you know, I'm just, you know, there's thoughts. After all, I made contact with Saber to save her. It's so funny that when those words are back to back. I made contact with Saber to save her. So I shouldn't have any other emotion for Saber. Dash. I'm a big liar. I can't deceive myself about it with excuses like that. I can't forget the spectacle I saw inside her. Oh, just what you saw inside her? Rude. I mean, you know, usually they say it's the inside that counts, but, like, you're talking about what you saw inside her, which is also sort of a superficial... Anyways. But I have to forget about it for now. Jeez, this is no time to worry about such things. Go jack off. If it's really bugging you, go jack off on, like, go whack, go take a, you know, get some jizz out over on a tree or something. You know, if it's really bothering you. It might be better to get out of your system now, you know. What we should be worrying about right now is how to take on Berserker. Shiro's slowly learning about his own self-deceiving methods. Well, yeah. What he needs to realize is that other females are into him too, which I think he might be starting to realize. I don't know. Maybe that's me giving him too much credit.
そうだ。自分にできることをやらないと。あいつだって 最後にそう言ってたじゃないか。
That's right. I have to do whatever I can do. He told me that at the very end. Uh-huh. I remember Archer's back. Oh yeah, Shiro really liked Arturia's dragon. And I bet that Saber likes his dragon too. Then again, Saber hasn't seen Shiro's dragon, I don't think. Unlike how Shiro's seen Saber's. It's kind of a double standard. I could never like him, but all his words have stuck in my head. You fucking liar, you totally like him now. Shut up! Ellipses. I stare at a tree branch. There are only a few things I can do. Even if it isn't much right now, I can only do them to the best of my abilities. Are you going to turn the tree branch into a big sword thingamajigger? I pluck a handy branch. I also find a few more branches that are straight.
シロ終わったから入ってきて。
Shiro, we're done, so come in. Oh, now oh, do I get to come in or do I have to come in? Because you're always with your freaking go out and no come in. Just, maybe I want to stay outside of my own devices. No, we probably should all be inside and plan a strategy and stuff. But, if you really wanted to be serious about this, we could have all changed in the same room. And I'm just saying, I know I get it, teens, hormones, but like, if you really want to be serious, you could easily just change in the same room and just worry about the fight. Then again, there is because if Shiro goes outside, he might get ambushed while they're inside kind of thing. But, I go back and forth because, practically speaking, the best thing would be that. But what it really, because of their hormones, and that's where, the line gets blurry. But I hear Tosaka's voice. I return to the ruin carrying the branches I found. Well, the only other problem is... See, the thing for me is, if I'm going to get a little dirty and honest for a second, I mean, I'm already dirty all the time, but I probably would be more comfortable once I had seen them nude, because then there'd be nothing more to the imagination, and so I wouldn't have to constantly be thinking, oh, what does it look like? How hot is she? And then I would just know, and so I wouldn't be worrying about it anymore. I know other people aren't like that, but that's how I'd be, so I'd probably be, my mind would be less in the gutter once I'd already seen them, but the only other problem is whether I'm able to act normally after seeing into Saber's heart, even for a moment.
こちらです、シロ。リンから話があるそうです。
This way, Shiro. Rin has something to tell you. I guess such worries were only on my part. Saber is acting resolutely as always. She must have completely accepted the incident, unlike me. Well, I mean, she was extremely, defensive about it for a bit, but I think this is just you thinking the best of her because you want to think the best of her, when really she probably thinks that way about you. Most of the people I've known have regarded those bits as seeing the sunset. It's always beautiful. Yeah. I think, it's different strokes for different folks.
ああ、今行く。
Yeah, I'll go right away. Damn, I won't lose. To who? To Rin? It's stupid to be the only one blushing, so I'll try my best to act calm. That's what you won't lose about? Jeez. Such a petty thing.
来たわね。それじゃあ作戦会議を始めるけど、会議って言っても口論し合う暇はないわ。
You're finally here, then I'll start the strategy meeting. But we don't have time to argue.
バーサーカーを倒す方法も限られているし、とりあえず私の話を聞いてもらえる？
There are only a few ways to defeat Berserker, and do you even know that defeating Berserker doesn't mean killing him, or means more than... Anyways, so can you listen to my side first? Sure, you have a side? Cool, up until now it's basically just been, me and Saber making plans, and you sitting out. I mean, I guess you had it's not really a plan to tell us something that you didn't tell us before, that you could have told us before, but anyways, go on. Saber and I nod.
作戦としては単純よ。
The plan is pretty simple. I guess you could argue it was her plan to leave Archer behind. Anyways.
まともな方法じゃバーサーカーとは勝負にならない。
It won't be a match with ordinary tactics. Okay. So what's your unordinary tactic?
勝つためには奇襲。
仕掛けたのなら反撃させずに一撃で首を落とすのが絶対条件だと思う。
We need to execute a surprise attack to win. If we do that, the absolute requirement is that we kill him in one blow and don't let him counterattack. Yeah, that's the problem. From their point of view, that does make sense. Unfortunately, we already know that he's immortal, and so clearly there's going to be something more to just killing him. So what probably is going to happen, my guess, is that they're going to execute this plan. It's going to go perfectly. They're going to kill him in one shot, and then he's just going to come back to life, and they're going to have to improvise. And something that Archer said to Shiro... Okay, here's my plan of how the battle is going to unfold. Ilya is going to have her pompousness, not be thinking about it, so Berserker will be put in a bad position. Saber will take the shot, take out Berserker. He'll have to regenerate for a bit, which will give Shiro time to come up with something and use Archer's inspiration to create the weapon, to do the real killing blow on Berserker, because somehow figuring out something about something related to Archer and how he, I don't know, something. There clearly has to be some weak spot we don't know about. But going in knowing that he can't die would really help with that. The fact that we don't means we're probably going to have to improvise. So it's probably going to come down to Shiro manning up based on where the narrative's been going and making the sword, the other sword. So maybe Saber having both swords will do something. Maybe he has to die twice at once. I don't know. I'm not sure what the weakness is. There's got to be some weakness of how Berserker gets killed. Maybe he's got a double die. Like if Saber gets both swords, I can kill him with 2 different techniques at the same time. Maybe he can only regenerate from 1 death at a time, and if he double dies, it's a permanent death? I don't know. I'm just guessing.
同感です。バーサーカーと打ち合ったところで、あれには致命傷を与えられません。倒すのならば、打ち合いの外から消すべきでしょう。
I feel the same way. Even if I do exchange blows with Berserker, I'll not be able to deliver a fatal wound. If we're to defeat him, we should do so outside of battle. Outside of battle? You mean by killing Ilya?
打ち合いの外からって、バーサーカーが俺たちに気づく前に先回りして襲うってことか。
I wouldn't really call that outside of battle, but okay. You mean we'll attack Berserker before he notices us?
そりゃ、あいつと正面から戦うのは無謀だけど、そっちの方はもっと無謀だ。あいつが奇襲なんてさせる玉か?
You're right that it's reckless to fight him straight on, but that plan's even more reckless. No. He's not the type that allows to take him by surprise. First of all, do you remember what class he is? He's Berserker. He doesn't think. It's only Ilya that thinks, and Ilya would normally be the type that wouldn't let people take her by surprise. She'd normally be the type that knows everything in advance. This is the one case, though, where Archer has her ruffled, because that was something he didn't see coming. So, yeah. Rather be inside. Da-na-na-na-na-na-na. Oh, you mean inside Saber? Yes, I'd rather be inside. I mean, what?
ええ、バーサーカーに気づかれずに近寄るなんて都合のいい作戦はやらないわよ。
Yeah, I won't make any optimistic plans that assume we can get near Berserker without being noticed. Uh-huh. Instinct. I mean, sure, he's got instinct, but, you know, that's different than actual rational thought. Won't make any optimistic plans that assume we can get near... Oh, Berserk... Right, instinct. The actual thing, instinct. I forget that instinct isn't just a... It's like an actual thing. It's a skill. Battle Constitution... No. Battle Constitution. It allows for battle even on the verge of death, and allows the user to stay alive until they receive a clearly fatal blow. Wait, was this new? Is this just added? The ability to stay alive, even on the verge of death, until they receive a clearly fatal blow. So were all of the blows from Archer not fatal, or is this separate? The ability to come back to life. I think it's separate. Avoidance of danger by sixth instinct. So this is his mind's eye. That's his instinct, which, Saber also has, right? Instinct A. Ability to always feel the best course of oneself. Oh, this is new apparently. Charisma B. Hold on. Magical Instinct A. Magical Energy Burst A. Wait, there's some new stuff. I don't know if I want to read this right now. I'll just skim it. Always feel the highlight. It produces half any This transfers magical energy into one's weapon and body, and by releasing the magical energy, instantaneously increases one's ability. Simply said, it's like magical. Saber uses magical energy for her sword techniques, guarding, and movement. Because of her great magical energy, she can fight Berserker, even though she is a normal weapon without string. Okay, gotcha. Natural talent to command an army. It increases the ability of one's army during mass combat. Oh, that's interesting. Will we ever see that in practice? I don't know. If Shiro goes back in time to frickin' Saber's battle with the whoever killed her army off. Charisma is a rare talent, and a B rank is enough to lead a country, which she does. Okay. Neat. Oh yeah, our true name Arturia. Details. 1 of 3. Oh no, that's never mind. And then Lancer wouldn't have anything new. Archer still don't have the true name. Skills. Oh, we don't know any of your skills? What? That's so stupid. Instinct and Mind's Eye are different. They're kind of the same. It's Mind's Eye even says it's like a fake instinct. No, can't. We still have no caster information. Berserker. Skills. Battle continuation. Avoidance of danger by 6th Sense Instinct. Like, it literally says 6th Sense Instinct. So I think it's just a lesser version of Saber's. Bravery A+. Divinity A, right. And then, okay. So I don't know. I don't think there's anything much new. The effect is the same. The cause is different. Mind's Eye is from experience. Instinct is an actual magical bullshit. Well, okay. So, I mean, so what you're saying is Herc is better because of Herc's great experience. That means he's easily more able to he's more easily able to be caught off guard if it's actually just from experience, because it's a fake instinct, as it were. Whereas Saber has real instinct, so even if it's something she's not expecting, she'll see it coming. Whereas Herc could get caught off guard by such a thing because it's just from experience, therefore it's easier to subvert his expectations? If that's what that skill means.
あっちにはイリアスフィールがいるんだもの。少なくともセイバーとシローの気配は簡単に感知されるわ。私は気配を隠せるから大丈夫だけど。
They have Ilias Veil. She'll sense Shiro and Saber's presence easily. I'm fine since I can hide my presence. Yeah, it'd be nice if you got some, like, you know, extra things to let us hide our presence. I assumed you'd have more than just one thing, but I guess you only had one thing, so oops. I don't know how it works, but Ilia can feel Saber and my presence, huh? If Tosaka is the one who can hide, then theoretically she should be the one doing the killing blow, but only Saber really has that power, I would assume, because, you know, you need like an A+ attack or whatever. Maybe she should be the one going after Ilia then, fighting Ilia, as it were. Keep her distracted, potentially. I mean, distracted, or just kill her if you get the chance, I guess. As unfortunate, you know, as much as child murder maybe isn't what Rin wants to do, in this situation, maybe that's the good thing to go for.
まさか奇襲をするのは遠坂だって言うんじゃないだろうな。
Don't tell me you're the one that's going to be doing the surprise attack. Assume suppressing her power level is a magical ability Rin has? I don't think so. Because I'm pretty sure she said in the prologue that she has, like, you know, an artifact at home to suppress her power, but she didn't bring it with her because she wanted other people to sense her powers so that, you know, because she wanted to find other people by other people finding her because she hates having to snoop around or whatever. But in this case, she brought her artifact to suppress her power, I would assume. So I don't think I'm pretty sure that's correct. I don't think she's naturally doing that, but unless I'm mistaken, but I believe that was established in the prologue.
当然でしょ。一番に狙われてるのはシローなんだし、この中で一番動きやすいのは私だもの。隙をついて後ろからバッサリやるのは任せなさい。
Of course, you're the one she's after the most, and I'm the best suited for this role. Leave it to me to slash Berserker from behind. That's probably a bad idea. If you're gonna do that, you should probably go after Ilia instead. Because, I mean, you need like an A+ level attack. Saber would have that. I mean, what was the point of getting Saber all charged, if not for this? I mean, if it's just going to be surprise attack, it should be Saber doing it, I think. Unless you want Saber to be used as the bait. Saber and me used as the bait, I suppose. Seems like this is a bit of a pride thing, because after Archer went down, Rin didn't even do, you know, the sneaky thing of trying to steal Saber away from Shiro. She did more of the honorable thing of telling them of their actual way out. So at this point, she probably just wants to avenge Archer because of the whole fight instinct about how she wanted to win this war. And now winning this war is basically impossible, so she at least wants the vengeance of beating Ilya. So she may be acting a bit stupidly.
後ろからバッサリってバーサーカーがそんな甘いわけないだろ。
You say so, but Berserker can't be that off guard, and even if he is, I mean, you know, like, A+ techniques. Do you have those?
そりゃそうよ。だからセイバーに隙を作ってもらうの。
Of course not, that's why I'm gonna have Saber create an opening. That's still pretty iffy, having Saber create that opening. I don't know. Besides, where would you like to... Maybe he has some weak point. Maybe it's like Attack on Titan. You gotta attack the neck. You gotta specifically cut off the neck to kill him. Anything else doesn't do it. I don't know. But you wouldn't know that. You wouldn't know that he's immortal to death anyway, so... It's very interesting. It's one of those, like, I watching this know it's going to disaster, but... I assume there's going to be some way through it, but they have to have some idea that there's going to be some way through it, or it's going to come off as a bit of, it doesn't have to come off as a Deus Ex Machina, because if it's about Shiro making the weapon, because that's been foreshadowed, but it's interesting, seeing this, knowing that they don't know, that we know, that they know, but they also don't know that they know that they don't know, you know?
セイバー、体はどのくらい回復した？
Achilles has his heel. I mean, yeah. Gotta cut off Herc's feet. I think he's being metaphorical, Inohanyu. Just because Achilles' heel was his heel doesn't mean everyone's Achilles' heel is actually their heel. Saber, how much have you recovered?
通常戦闘ならば問題はありません。ですが、宝具の使用は避けるべきです。
Normal battle should not be a problem, but I should avoid using my noble phantasm. Which one? But that's probably the only good way you're gonna be able to kill him, I would assume. But so Rin is planning to use her jewels that she's been stocking up, I guess? Like, whatever she has left, I suppose? Seems like kind of a suicide move. If you're gonna do that, you would want to go for Ilya, but I think she's a little too honorable and wants to avenge Archer, so she's gonna go for Berserker. But really, the smart move would be to go for Ilya, but she probably feels a bit too icky about that whole thing. It's probably a combination of feeling icky about it and also pride of wanting to actually take out the servant. There's also the fear that if, you know, trying to go for Ilya without taking out the servant is really hard, and that's true, but...
今の魔力では、おそらく使った瞬間に体を維持できなくなる。たとえ使ったとしても純度は落ちていますから、バーサーカーを倒せるとは思えません。
With the amount of magical energy I have now, I'll no longer be able to maintain my body the instant I use my noble phantasm. So you're just gonna have to gather up more magical energy, which you can do naturally now, right? Unless I'm crazy, you can naturally gather up more. It's just gonna take time. Even if I do use it, it will not be full force. I do not think I'll be able to defeat Berserker. And yet you think what Rin is gonna do will? So we have to go for Ilya then. I mean, to be fair, Berserker's weakened, but you don't know that, but you also don't know that he can't be killed. So it's a combination of not knowing that he's weaker than you think he is, but also not knowing that he's got a skill you don't know he has, but yeah. Everyone does have their family jewels. It's a very good point.
ええ、それで十分よ。セイバーにはバーサーカーと打ち合ってもらうわ。もちろん、シロも一緒。
That's more than enough. I'll have you fight Berserker. Shiro as well, of course. Yeah, of course I'll fight Berserker. What?
で、私は隠れて様子を見る。イリアスフィールから見れば、私はおまけみたいなものだし、いなければ二人を見捨てて逃げたとか思うんじゃないかしら。
I'll watch while hiding. I'm only an extra for Iliasville, so I think she'll assume I've run away if I'm not here. Uh-huh. This certainly makes for an interesting scenario. I do enjoy seeing two sides, and both sides not knowing something, and assuming they know something, and then seeing the clash, and then seeing where that goes. But, and you know, from what I can tell, the winning move on Shiro's end would be bringing up this, creating this sword that's been being alluded to for a little bit, which would make it not a Dakina or a Deus Ex Machina, but certainly interesting seeing things in advance and thinking you know where they're going, but I mean, yeah, Rin is all about the underestimating, but at the moment Ilya's doing it too for once, so I'm only an extra for Iliasfeel, so I think she'll assume I've run away if I'm not there. Maybe. Iliasfeel might assume you're not there, but only if she does, it's only because she's in her frazzled mind state and is so focused on... Then again, she'd be focused on the revenge, so she'd probably hope that you are still here. She's the kind of person that I think would be smart enough. I think she's the kind of person that would be smart enough to assume that Rin is still around and hiding somewhere, and then that's her plan. At least normally she would be. I'm not sure in her frazzled mental state if she will be, but normally I think she would be, so I think Rin is making a dumb move that may pay off because she doesn't know that Ilia is frazzled, possibly. It's interesting.
はあ、それはまあ可能性はなくはありませんが。
Okay, well, I think that's possible, but
可能性が低いならあげて。
if the probability is low, raise it. I'm sorry, what? You can't just raise the probability. Should say to Herc that you can play or kill with Rin. I mean, that's fair, I guess. I think there is a bit of revenge, though. I think there is revenge. I mean, yeah, the lolly is very much the most intelligent master, but it's very much instinctual. And she's gotten frazzled now. She did say to play or kill with Rin, and that is because she cares the most about Shiro. But even though she does care the most about Shiro, I don't think she wants to let any of them get away, because she feels so annoyed, you know, by Archer, and Rin was Archer's master, so I'm pretty sure she still cares to take it out on all of them.
シロはイリアスフィールと仲がいいみたいだし、うまく話せば騙せるんじゃない？
You seem to be on good terms with Iliasfeel, so you may be able to trick her. Oh, I seem to be on good terms with Iliasfeel. You mean Shiro? I mean, he was, but I think he's kind of fucked it up at this point. If he was planning to use that to his advantage, he would have had to do it earlier, I think. But, you know, he's too goody two-shoes to do that. Archer and Ilia would have been the big brain team. I mean, yeah, I don't think Archer would have liked Ilia very much, though, because Ilia's... Like, Archer already doesn't like how commanding Rin is, but Rin is at least somewhat, you know... has a sincere side where Ilia doesn't really have that. But there is this idea that, you know, the smarter you are, the more likely you are to not like other people just as smart as you. But it depends. I don't think they would have liked each other very much. Tosako looks at me meaningfully. Oh, yeah, because you knew that I was going down the Ilia route, but Shiro freaking fucked it up, so oops.
反論はあるけど引き受けた。
I have some objections, but I'll take that.
遠坂は逃げたって言えばイリアはまず信じるよ。あの子は人の言葉を疑わないと思う。
Ilia would believe me if I told her you ran away. I don't think she'd doubt anyone. You don't think she'd doubt anyone? I think she doubts when it comes to battle. I mean, she wanted to believe in you, but I feel like you've already let her down such that she... Maybe in a last-ditch effort in her frazzled mind state, she might want to try to believe you, but I think it's a long shot. Archer may have just sniped Ilia in her sleep if she didn't magically bound him by then. I mean, yeah, that's the kind of thing I think would happen, maybe. Depends on how much Archer really wanted his goal. I think Archer might have pulled a Fate Zero Archer if he got Ilia as his master. Like, tried to get a switcheroo, tried to get some other master.
だとしても問題はあります。
There is still a problem.
私がバーサーカーと対峙するのはいい。ですが、シローに同じことはさせられません。シローではバーサーカーの一撃に耐えられない。
Here it is, the obvious. I'm fine fighting Berserker. I cannot have Shiro do the same. Shiro cannot stand Berserker's attacks.
誰もシロに殴り合えなんて言ってないわ。
I'm not telling Shiro to go hand in hand against Berserker. Okay, what are you telling me to do then?
シロはセイバーから離れて後方支援。セイバーだけじゃバーサーカーを押し切るのは難しいから、
She'll
危な
support
く
you
な
from
ったら
the
助けてあげ
back.
て。
How exactly will I support her from the back? With archery? Still haven't done any training on that archery. Shame that my, you know, what would have been my good archery teacher is gone now. And, like, as for magic, I just gave away a big portion of my magic, so it'd be weird if all of a sudden now I started using it. It's gonna be difficult for Saber to fight Berserker alone, so help her when she's in trouble. I mean, one wrong move and I'm dead, but, okay, you make it sound so easy. I know your role is the most important, but it won't matter if, like, if I fuck up my role and get killed early. He got his stomach blown out last time. But, you know, he still lived, so there you go. Then again, he did still live. That's fair.
バカな。シローはリンのように魔術に長けてはいない。
Ridiculous. Shiro does not excel in magic like you do, Rin. In fact, he's just given some of his away, so... Shiro's already good at archery. So what if he's already good at archery? He hasn't practiced in forever. He can't just do it out of nowhere, you know, like, against Berserker suddenly. I mean, I guess he could, but he wouldn't be very good.
援護と言っても何を
How'd he be able to support me?
それはシローが考えて。
Shiro will think of a way. Oh, are you saying Shiro will think of a way means he's gonna do archery? I feel like he should have been training his archery until now, but he never fucking thinks things ahead, so what, he's gonna start training his archery after this?
もっともバーサーカー相手だとマスターが介入する余裕なんてないわ。シローだけじゃなくて私だって手を出せばセイバーの足を引っ張る
Like
もの。
riding a bike, Rennie. I both love it and hate it when people tell me that it's like riding a bike. You never forget. I never learned to ride a bike. So that analogy doesn't work on me. I have no idea if you never forget, because I never learned in the first place. But, well, there won't really be any room for a master to interfere against Berserker. Even I wouldn't be much help if I did something. So I just have to do something, you know, from the background, I suppose. Hmm.
それでも一人だって遊ばせる余裕はないの。
We don't have enough to spare to let anyone stay idle. I mean, sure.
シローが殺されればセイバーもおしまいっていうのは分かってるけど、ここはそうしてもらうわ。初めから賭け事みたいな戦いなんだから。
I know Saber is done for if Shiro dies, but I'll still have him do this. After all, this battle's a gamble from the very beginning. Fair. It is a gamble, but, you know, we should at least, you know, try to... It is a gamble, but, like, if we fuck it up by gambling too hard when gambling slightly less hard would have done it, you know, yeah. Saber does have a nice sword, and a nice dragon. Which do I prefer? Do I prefer Saber's sword or her dragon? Saber has 2 swords, actually, which Shiro's seen. Gosh, that's a hard call. In fact, you could argue she has 3 swords if you count her wind sword. I mean, I do like the wind scar. I think Inuhan, can relate to the wind scar, so I don't know. I mean, I am a big fan of dragons, though. If you plunge the sword in the dragon, it'd be like sword in the stone, but instead it'd be like sword in the dragon. Big brain moment. No, never stop making dirty jokes, Tom, please. It's my lifeblood. Didn't they say he was one of the top archers, including Shinji? They did say that. They said that from the very beginning, at the high school, but he hasn't done a gosh dang bit of training since then.
それはそうですが
That is true. Saber grows silent with a troubled face. I kept thinking that Archer was going to train us in archery, and it never happened because he went and died. Are we going to pick up archery now that he's dead? I don't know. I feel like he could have given us a couple little quick, you know, tidbits of archery before he died, but... As Tosaka is... Maybe that's how he's going to learn archery from Archer, because he's going to have flashback, because he's going to dream, he's going to start dreaming more of what Saber's flashbacks were, because they're more connected, and maybe Saber knew something of Archer, or Shiro will just flash back to Archer, because maybe Archer would have slipped a bit of his magical mojo into Shiro's steroids, I don't know, and Shiro might flash back and get some tidbits of Archer through his dreaming, because either, you know, Archer is Shiro from the future, of course, but also maybe Archer slipped him some magical juju because they're like a kindred spirits? Honor his memories. Yeah, honor his archery that we never saw him use! Jeez. She must know she's saying something unreasonable, as Tosaka is silent too. And Saber grows silent with troubled face. I read the lines backwards. The two's concern is only natural. That night I met Saber. When we were attacked by Berserker, I could only use my body to defend her, which was a terrible idea. But you still live, so I don't know. There's a high probability that would happen again. So I should stay away from the battlefield, but I would have no intention of doing that, even if she didn't tell me to be there. Yeah.
分かってる。遠くからの援護は何とかしよう。
I'll do something to back her up. Something. I mean, Shiro's not really smart enough, I don't think, to think of something in advance, and anything he comes up with on the spot's probably not going to matter much at all, but he could always make her another sword, but that's not really doing something from the back. But it's the kind of thing I could see him doing in the background, because he wants to do something, but he's not sure what to do. Are my words that surprising?
離れたところからセイバーを援護すればいいんだろ？
I just have to support it from a distance, right?
それならなんとかなると思う。
I think I'll be able to do something. I have no idea what yet, because I'm stupid, but I'll definitely think of something on the spot, and not think of something because I'm stupid. Saying that, I hold up the branch I just collected. So you're gonna try to turn that into the fancy sword, hmm? Is that the idea? The length is perfect, the flexibility is good as well. But strengthening this doesn't mean much, because you'd have to go up close if you're using a sword. But I don't like Archer, but Rin was cool, kind of fucked up. He died in the process of saving my ass. Oh, from Shiro's, from Shiro's perspective, yeah. The length is perfect, the flexibility is good as well. This is the first time I've done this kind of strengthening. I don't think there's any flaw in the principle. The point is, I just need to keep reinforcing it until it becomes a real one. A real sword? And for this, I also have a reference, since he had one too. And again, here's what I said how the last time when Shiro transferred some of his magic to Saber, and it seemed like he might have transferred all of it, but he really didn't. In fact, he didn't even transfer the stuff he uses. It's kind of a dock, you know, because right here, right now, he's going to use his magic, even though he just gave up. He's never really used his magic throughout most of the game, and now, after giving away some of his magic, and that being the plot point to how we fix Saber's issues, he gives away some of his magic. After doing that, is when Shiro finally starts using some magic again. It's a little too tidy. It's a little too, you know what I mean. I also have references he had one too. Since he had one too? Oh, were you gonna strengthen this into a bow? To do archery? That's a little silly considering Archer never... Well, okay. Archer did do archery because Shiro stumbled in on Archer, but he wasn't using his arrows, he was just flinging his bow. Anyways. On top of that, magical energy has been flowing in my body for a while now. I just have to repeat the usual process now. I mean, yeah, magic's been flowing in his body for... It's like, he gives some of it up. Maybe that... You could argue that him giving some of it up makes him cherish the stuff he has left, or it maybe makes him feel the stuff he has left a little bit more and harness that better, but even saying that's a little convenient. I analyze the basic structure and modify it. Into a bow. I analyze the composition materials and reinforce them. To a strong bow? That's not enough if the original is a branch and the finished product is his bow. Oh, you're really making it into a bow. A bow that we never fucking saw. But I guess technically you saw it, because he was practicing with his bow. Okay. So now is when you're finally using archery. God damn it, just after Archer died. That's so silly. I have to imagine it from the concept of creation. If I'm to get it close enough to the real one, I have to formulate every hypothesis, at least in my head. I open my eyes. The branch is shaped right, but it's got a sword at its hilt, as if I'm too focused on swords. Because there's that one sword that I wanted to make that I still haven't made. Shiro has to cover for Archer now. Archer never did archery anyways, he just used his daggers to fight. The branch is shaped right, but it's not even close. It's ugly and crooked. Well, maybe that's exactly the kind of sword for you, Shiro. Just like your heart, ugly and crooked. Oops! That's why you gotta straighten it out. Just like your heart, Shiro. We have to straighten out your heart. Okay, I guess we're Bow Gang. I guess Bow Gang is a new meme in the chat. 2 people said it, therefore it must be a meme. That's how memes work, right? I know it'll work as a bow. I just have to make the arrows in the same way. In the same ugly and crooked way. There is something to be said for, well, if one thing's ugly and crooked and you make the other thing goes with ugly and crooked, then the 2 ugly and crooked things will go together fine, even if they're both ugly and crooked. 2 negatives make a positive. Math analogy. Shiro, that was...
シンジとの一件でなんとなくコツが分かった。遠坂も言ってただろ、力みすぎるなって。
Yeah, I think I got the hang of it after the thing with Shinji, because I stayed and trained instead of finding out what you were doing, which I still don't know what you were doing. I stayed and trained. You said too much, I shouldn't strain myself too much. You said so too, that I shouldn't strain myself too much. 2 in harmony surpasses 1 in perfection. Some ancient Chinese philosopher. Uh-huh.
そう。まあ手段ができたのはいいことだし、今はいいわ。
I see. Well, it's good that we have a way to attack, so it's enough for now.
話を戻すけど、
Going back to the original topic.
とにかく2人にはバーサーカーと戦ってもらう。私はあらかじめ木に登って上から様子を観察してるから。
I'll have you two fight Berserker. I'll get on top of a tree beforehand and watch from above. On top of a tree? Sounds sketchy. I feel like hiding within the forest might be better. Because, I don't know, on top of a tree... within the trees on top of a tree. I doubt you mean exactly on top of a tree, because you could probably see that, but from below... sounds like Shiro and Arturia, broken justice heads. Yeah, I suppose, but 2 broken justices don't make a right, or whatever that analogy is. You know, it's too true, 2 negatives don't make a positive, but 2 broken justices generally just makes an even more broken justice. It depends, though.
で、セイバーがなんとかバーサーカーに隙を作ったら、死角である頭上からとっておきの宝石を使い切って、バーサーカーを串刺しにする。
When Saber creates an opening in Berserker's defense, I'll skewer Berserker from above using all of my reserve jewels. So it's an all or nothing plan. And what's the backup if it fails exactly?
作戦としてはそれだけの単純なものだけど。
It's a simple plan. On the one hand, you may argue don't bother with a backup because that'll make you more convinced that the real plan has to work in the first place, but that comes down to conditioning yourself to get used to focusing everything on the first plan while still having the backup plan, not worrying about the fact there's a backup plan and still focusing everything on the first plan instead of thinking, oh, it'll be okay because we have a backup plan even if this fails. But I guess that takes conditioning, and so there is an argument to be made of don't have a backup plan, so you are more mentally thinking that this is everything, and so you will actually focus more on it, but... If it fails, we reload the previous choice, of course. I'll skewer Berserker from using all my reserve choices. It's a simple plan. Oh, the high ground. I guess that is one way of having, you know, she will literally have the high ground if she's above the trees, but, you know, they say that having the high ground actually gives you disadvantages in fights. It depends on the kind of fight. But, you know... If it fails, we just snipe Ilya because we're Archer now. Yeah, even if we're gonna do that, I don't think it would be Shiro doing it. Shiro, I think, is a little too soft to snipe Ilya. If he did, that would certainly be interesting. If in the heat of the moment, maybe Rin was on the brink of death, or Saber was on the brink of death, and Shiro snipes Ilya to save them. It would be interesting, character development-wise, that he would have actually killed someone, a person, a pretty girl even, that he had slight hots for, I'm sure. But he did it to save another girl he had more hots for. And so he would be put in a position where he's like, is it okay to kill the pretty girl to save the prettier girl? It'd be a moral dilemma. It'd be interesting. But also, is it okay to kill the evil girl to save the nice girl? That's another point. But, you know. It's a simple plan. Tosaka's expression asks for questions. No, oops. I just got a thing. Oh, I hit a thing. Nope, don't do that. Don't fucking stop it. No, you freaking stop it. Sorry. Apologies. Tosaka's expression asks for questions.
宝石というのはリンの魔術ですか?
Jules, is that your magic? Well, no, we haven't really seen her real magic. She did some wind for a bit. Yeah, she did some wind for a bit. I don't know if she naturally does wind or fire because her dad was, you know, fireman, but at least, I don't know, I'm not sure, does she have to, I don't remember how it works. Like, she stores the spell in the jewel and unleashes it, or uses the jewel to enhance her magical power? I forget, it's been a while since the explanation.
だとしても生半可な魔術ではバーサーカーの体には届きません。
A normal
彼を
magic will
傷
not
つけるに
harm
は
Berserker.
最大純度の攻撃でなければならないのですから。
We need a full purity attack to injure him. Oh, that's right. I was saying earlier that Berserker isn't weak to magic because he has good magic, but just because he has good magic does not mean he has good resistance. Because Saber actually has, you know, magic resistance as an ability. That's right. Cancels any magic A rank or below. Lancer has some magic resistance, Archer had some magic resistance, Rider had magic resistance, Caster almost certainly has magic resistance. But Berserker does not have magic resistance as far as we know, therefore magic will do something to him. I don't know if it'll be enough to kill him, but it'll do something.
分かってる。要するに A 判定の攻撃でないとダメなんでしょ？
So in other words, you need to attack with an A rating, right? That might be the one thing that actually saves our butts if we're in trouble fighting against Ilya, is that Caster comes out of nowhere and does a big blow to Berserker because he has no magic resistance. That would involve Caster's Master being... Caster's Master. That would involve Caster's Master being someone who likes us, or someone who is afraid of Berserker's strength and wants to use us to defeat them. If it's someone who likes us, then, I don't know, surprise Sakura Master because her brother died, so she's taking it seriously. I don't think so, based on the way Shinji was talking. I still am curious to see Sakura's reaction to her brother's death. It could also mean Ryudo, because of his whole thing, or it's just someone who's at the temple. But, yeah, Caster may take down Herc because he's weak right now. That's true, because Herc is both weak and does not have magic resistance. Caster be very effective against him right now, and this might be the part where Caster gets introduced in the narrative, considering how late it is without any Caster introduction. That might be the other way that this fight ends without us dying horribly. But that will likely also tie in with the Master reveal, I would assume, but I'm not sure. It'd be interesting if the last Master reveal was Lancers. It'd be poetic in a way, because he was the first servant we saw, not counting Archer. In other words, we need to attack with an A rating, right? Oh, so you guys do know that. Hold on. We need a full purity attack to injure him. In other words, we need a full... Yes, we need to attack with an A rating. So we do know these stats. I'm sorry. You guys do know the stats that are in the status to an extent. It's not just for my eyes only. At least, not entirely. Saying that, Tosaka takes a jewel out of her pocket.
その宝石は?
What is that jewel? Is that a sacred A rank attack you have in your pocket, or are you just excited to see me?
私が物心ついた時からために貯めた貯金みたいなものよ。これ一つで A 判定の大魔術を即座に発生させられる。10個あったんだけどね。一つはあなたに使っちゃったわ。
This is like my savings I've been building up since I was small. One of these can instantly generate an A rank magic. Oh, okay, that's convenient. I had 10, but I used one on you. Okay, that's fair, because it does say Saber, magic resistance A. Cancels any magic A rank or below. So, yeah, she's completely immune. The fucking cheater. I mean, everyone cheats in their own way, I guess. Rin mentioned around the beginning that Masters are able to collect information on other servants in their head. Yeah, I know, because this whole book thing. The book that Rin gave to us. But I'm like wondering, does she doesn't need it anymore, but I'm wondering, does she not need it because she has her own, or does she has the ability to access it even with us having it? It just seems like some of this stuff, I don't know where this information is coming from, or it doesn't seem like Shiro has it. It's a bit inconsistent. Like, the idea that they all have the encyclopedia is what I thought it would be, but they don't always act on the things in this encyclopedia. So I think it's half and half and not executed as best as it could be. I get the idea, I think. But that's the thing, I think I get it. Because if it is the thing that they all have access to it, then there are some things that don't really add up, but, yeah. Anyways, I had 10, but I used one on you.
そうか。あの時の魔術ならば、確かにバーサーカーは防げない。
I see. If it is the magic from that time, Berserker will certainly not be able to block it. Okay. It will probably do a decent amount of damage. But he only can be killed by an attack once before he's, you know, before his mind's eye gets him good enough to avoid it, as it were.
彼には私のような対魔力はありません。魔術であっても、それが A 判定ならば問題なく貫通する。
He does not have magic resistance like I do. Even if it is magic, an A rank will penetrate him without any problems. Penetrate. Yeah. It's both A, he doesn't have magic, and it's A rank. So it seems like this is the good plan. Okay, so I was not aware that they were A rank. Even then, you still gotta be fast on your feet. You're still not a servant, but I guess it's a decent plan. To use the A rank magic. That is a good shot, but will it actually kill?
そういうことよ。本当は小出ししていこうと思ったけど、悠長なことは言ってられないわ。 バーサーカーには特別に2つか3つは叩き込んでやるんだから。
Rout is when you play a chapter in Fire Emblem and they say to rout the enemy, it means kill all the enemies. I know it can be a little confusing. When I first saw that, I'm like, a rout? You mean like a Pokemon route? No, not a route in Pokemon, a rout as in routing the enemy in Fire Emblem. They use the same words, but that's what it means, by the way, Fire Emblem fans. What? I thought about using it in small amounts, but I can't be saving things like that now. I'll give Berserker 2 or 3 of these. 2 or 3? Fucking use all of them at once! Okay, this is one of those cases where it's good to have a backup plan, but, like, if you use all of them and throw them at Berserker, if you truly believe this is going to work, you should use all of them, because that'll for sure kill him, unless you're confident that just one will kill him. Because if you use a couple and they don't kill him, but using more might have killed him, it's a debate, though, because if you use all of them and you miss, you do want more than one chance, but it's like, what if you use them and it wasn't enough because you only used a couple? Yeah, this is a real debate, I suppose, but gonna have to use all 10 of them. Well, she doesn't have 10 anymore, she only has 9. Stop underestimating people. That is a router. The box that gives internet, that's correct, that's a router, not a route. Yes, we must route the enemy. Kill Berserker, kill Ilya. Uh-oh. Yeah, it's a debate, because you do want to save some of them, but saving some of them may cost you the... It's exactly what I was saying, is you don't want to... You want a backup plan, but your backup plan should not revolve around these magical jewels, I feel. Because at this point, you're out of the fight anyways, right? I mean, I don't know if Rin is still thinking like that, if Rin is still thinking, I'm out of the fight, or I'll find a way to be in the fight later on by taking someone's servant. If she was going to do that, taking Saber from me without telling me about how I could actually continue to fight would have been a decent idea, but she didn't do it. So I'm assuming she's bowing out of the fight at this point and just wants to, you know, take out Berserker in a fit of revenge, as it were. In which case, fucking use all the jewels. You're not saving them for anything. If you save some of them for the idea that, oh, if this misses or if I fail, I'll be able to use the other jewels in another attempt, that's iffy, because even if it works, it'll just get Berserker wised up to the plan. So she probably should just use all of them, but assuming that they know about his mind's eye and that he's really good at understanding tactics once he's seen them once, saving the jewels seems futile, unless she really has a reason to save them, like she is thinking long-term, as if she does plan on staying in the Grail War, but it doesn't seem like she does. It's hard to say. Planning to support Shio for them long-term to help him in the Grail War, as if she... That's another idea. That's an interesting thought. Kind of seems like there aren't any other options left. I mean, yeah, it does, but she's still saving them, which is interesting. Rin may be planning to support Shiro in a long term. That's a very interesting thought, because Rin herself wanted to win, but if she can support Shiro, that could be another... That might be why she's so okay with this circumstance. Like, she wanted either Shiro or Rin to go down so they didn't have to fight, because she has the hots for Shiro in a way, I suppose. Maybe that's why she's been avoiding Shiro, because she didn't want to have the hots for him, because she realized she had the hots for him, and she knew they'd have to fight, but now they don't have to fight, so she doesn't mind the idea, so she might want to save them to help Shiro, because she has the hots for him. I suppose there is logic to that, but it's not really her fight anymore, but she might still try to force it to be her fight, because she can force the fight through Shiro, because it's so instinctual that she has to do the fight. Therefore, she's not even going to take a chance to not do the fight when given the not fight, if the chance to fight is there, because she'd go through too much of a, what the fuck do I do with my life if I'm not doing the fight? So if she's got a chance to do the fight, even if it's not really doing the fight, she'll do the fight through Shiro. I don't know. At the moment, I think they should still worry about just getting through Berserker. But she does want the fight to be her fight, even if it's not her fight anymore. Plus, she has the hots for Shiro. So I guess it's a combination of those two factors. I guess that makes sense. Stop being stingy. They're still in the forest, right? Maybe they don't have any escape options. You know, I feel like they did have escape options if they had escaped instead of, you know, letting Saber rest. But they didn't realize that Archer had slowed him down as much as he did, but that would have been a big risk either way, so... Yeah, why do you fight, Rin? Because there's a fight to be won. Not anymore, there isn't. She's out of the fight, but yeah. Tosaka sticks out her chest in confidence. It's still, I don't know. Did she ever get a wish? I'm not sure. I'm not sure if she ever got a wish. It's interesting to think of if she ever even got a wish, or if she's still fighting just for the fight. I assume she is. If anything, her wish is just to get that Shiro penis at this point, but that's not really a wish that needs the Grail. But maybe that's why she's so okay with not actually. Maybe that is a reason why she's so okay with fighting without actually having a wish to be won, because she never had a wish in the first place, so she doesn't mind if she acts as Shiro's sidekick and lets Shiro actually take the wish, because she never even had the wish. It was never about the wish. It was winning the right to have the wish, and she could still, in a way, win the right to have the wish, even if she's not actually in the fight. That kind of makes sense. I can kind of see that logic. In a way, like, I have the mindset of, like, for example, if there's a trophy to be gotten in a video game, and the trophy is like, do X and Y, and I do X and Y and the trophy doesn't unlock, it bugs me a little bit, but I still have the achievement of unlocking the trophy. It's like the spirit of it was unlocked, so I don't care if the trophy didn't actually unlock. I'm not going to go to my way to, maybe I missed something, but it's that idea of, oh, let's say you want to beat all the, if you do a self-imposed challenge, then doing the challenge is in itself the reward. If you get some trophy because of the game, it's not really necessary. But it's different from going out of your way to get the trophy, doing the challenge, even if you don't necessarily enjoy the challenge to get the trophy, and doing the challenge because you enjoy the challenge, and the trophy is, whatever, I don't care. I can understand from that perspective, but I mean, if the trophy was, I get a free wish, I'd probably care about the trophy. But, instead of it just being some silly achievement and, in a random game that just says, hey, you did a thing that we knew you did. But, Fight so you fight, Rin, because there's a fight to fight. There's a fight to fight, so we're going to fight. Anyways, hold on. I'm going to, there's a fight to be fought, so we fight. I'm going to take an intermission real quick while I eat a little bit and take a piss and all that. So, as it were, this also has no music, so I found another new save screen already. Maybe Rin's indoctrination from childhood is just way too strong, and even when she's technically out of the fight, she's going to fight. I mean, that's what I've been saying, yeah. She was so trained up to do this that she doesn't even think about the idea of not doing it, even when it seems like she shouldn't do it. But she doesn't care about the reward. She just cares about the fight, and she can still fight as long as she's not fucking dead. What happens when the fight is over, though? The fight is over, assuming she's still alive. Maybe in her own way she is a death seeker. Maybe she doesn't think about it that way, but she's so focused on the fight that she just assumed if I die in the fight, whatever, I don't really care about what happens after the fight anyways. That in its own way, isn't quite the same as Shiro's method of being a death seeker, but you could say that they're both death seekers in a bit of a way. Yeah, they're all fucked up children. They're all fucked up in their own beautiful ways. It's great. But also, can we fix them maybe? That could be the wish. Fix all of us fucked up children in this Grail war. We're all fucked up. Could you please fix us? Tosaka sticks out her chest in confidence. But, oh shit, there's a but. Why do we have buts? I don't like your butts. I mean, maybe I would like your butts if you actually let me see them instead of, forcing me to wait outside. We change.
Oi. なんか半端にせこくないか?
Aren't you being a bit stingy? By only using 2 or 3?
同感です。私が言えることではありませんが、せめて半分使い切るくらいの気前の良さが必要だと思うのです。They actually brought it up! And Rin with the face! The face! Rin with the face! Because she's still planning for the long term of the fight. Really? She should use all of them. I feel the same way. I should not be saying this, but I believe you should be generous enough to at least use half of these.
何よ、そんなの人の勝手でしょ?
It's my business, right? I mean, okay, what are you gonna use the rest for exactly? Just gonna hoard them? I mean, when this fight's over, what's your plan?
あなたたちね、私がどれほど苦労してここまで貯めたって思ってるのよ。
Do you guys know how hard it was to save this much? Okay, well, if you're not gonna use it now, then when? Like, it's like saving all of your best healing potions to the end of the game in an RPG, but then being like, no, I can't waste them, and still not using them at the end of the game. Or you use them, but like you still have a bunch left over because you saved for too long. I mean, I used to be like that. I used to hoard healing items in RPGs, but eventually I stopped doing that, and I just said, fuck it, I'll use it when I have it because they're meant to be used. Unless I'm purposely challenging myself to just never use healing items ever, but I've generally gotten over the notion of saving everything to the end, because generally the game puts you in a good position to deal with the end without needing the healing items, or at least without needing too many, but final boss fight, chemical warfare, yeah, that's usually when you unload all your healing items, but, you know, even then, you usually don't end up using them all up if you're, like, hoarding the whole game, But this is a case of being at the end of the final boss fight and still not being willing to use all the fucking healing items. I guess, to be fair, it's not the final boss fight of the Grail War, period, but it's really your final boss fight, isn't it, Rin? Again, unless she's planning to help us, but... And maybe she's too tsundere to actually bring that up to us until after the fight is over, but... Maybe she doesn't even want to think about the after until the fight is over, but she's clearly thinking about the after, at least subconsciously, if she's suggesting to only use 3 instead of all of them. Ellipses. Ellipses. Saber and I protest silently. Tosaka's life depends on this as well, so it won't be funny if she gets stingy and we end up failing because of that. Uh-huh.
わかったわよ。半分使えばいいんでしょ？使えば。
Fine, I'll use half of them, okay? Half rounded up. 5 out of the 9, not 4, okay? As long as we both are on the same page of what half means. Personally, I think you should just fucking unload all of them, but...
何よ。言ってみただけじゃない。私だってそれくらいわかってるんだから。
Come on, I just wanted to say that I get what you guys are saying too. You do get it? I mean, even if you get it, you're still only... That's like, what is that? That's the fallacy of, you know, offering too little and then not giving enough. Like, really, you should use all of them? But you said, oh, I'm only going to use 2 or 3, and then we're like, you should at least use half. And then you're like, sold, I use half. It's haggling, or whatever. It's setting your, you know, saying what you're actually going to do low so that you can do what you actually want to do, which is less than, you know what I mean. If she suggested half in the first place, then we would have tried to haggle her up. But because she didn't suggest half in the first place, she's now been haggled up to half, and it's more understandable if we let her settle here.
とにかく作戦はそれだけよ。
Anyway, that's the plan.
あとは私が隠れられて、シローがセイバーの援護をしやすい場所を探さなくちゃ。イリアスフィールが来る前にいい場所を見つけましょう。
Now we have to find somewhere where I can hide and where it'll be easy for Shiro to support Saber. Let's find a good spot before Ilya gets here. Okay. Yeah, we can't stay in this ruin now. As Tosaka says, all that's left is to find a spot to wait for Berserker. Before that what? Oh, fuck. I'm worried about Saber. I'm worried about Tosaka. Are you fucking gonna do that? Oh, you're fucking gonna do that? Who's best girl then? Trick question, it's Ilya. Okay, worried about Saber, worried about Tosaka. Alright, so, if this is just which girl do I like more at this point, which romance am I enjoying more, I would pick Saber. But I think it's a little bit, more nuanced than that. Because I feel like Saber is in... I'm not really... To be honest, I'm not really worried about Saber. Trick question, it's Archer. But yeah, I'm not really worried about Saber. Because, you know, I feel like she's in a good state of mind after the transference. I feel like, yeah, maybe I'd be physically worried about her. But mentally, I'm more worried about Tosaka. And what her plan is for after the Grail War. Or not after the Grail War, sorry, after this fight. Yes, after the Grail War, but also after this fight, period. So, I think, even though, like, you know, there's two minds to this, which, if I just wanted the Saber route, I would pick I'm worried about Saber. But, I'm more interested in, I'm more literally worried about where Tosaka's going than I am Saber. So I'm gonna pick this one. I'm going with my brain instead of going with my boner, if that makes sense. I don't want to think so, but not that I dislike Rin or dislike the Shio-Rin pairing, just, Anyways. Tosaka won't be stingy using her jewels, will she?
ちょい待ち。繰り返すけど、本当に出し惜しみはなしだぞ、登坂。そりゃ、宝石は高価なものだけど、お前の命には変えられないんだから。
That's funny. It's true that jewels are expensive, but they can't substitute for your life, right? I'll say this again, no holding back, Tosaka. Okay, that's funny because he lost his life. Sort of. He was only mostly dead, though. And then Rin saved it with a jewel. Now, I know it wasn't one of those jewels. It was like the super duper jewel that she only had one of. But it's still funny because they did substitute for his life. So maybe she's saving multiple because if she uses multiple together, she could save a life again. No, I don't know. But still, it's an interesting idea. Interesting music for this scene. Oh yeah, they're having the goofy music. They haven't had that in a while.
うちの財政を知らないからそんな無責任なことが言えるのよ。シロだってこれ一つがどのくらいするか知ったら腰が抜けるに決まってるんだから。
You can say such irresponsible things because you don't know the state of my financial affairs. Oh, so you want to sell these off? You were building up these with magical energy to sell them off, not to use in the war? That's a load of bullshit and you know it. I bet you'd fall over if you found out how expensive one of these is.
金の話で腰なんか抜けるか。
I won't lose my legs just from money talk. If I pay someone enough money, they might be able to cut off your legs for me because of the money that I paid. I mean, Saber would probably stop that in this situation, but generally speaking, after the war, because I think that's what she's talking about with the whole financial situation. The financial situation doesn't matter much during the war, but I'm surprised she's even bringing up the post-war.
いいぜ。そこまで言うなら責任持ってやる。使った分の宝石、俺と登坂で折半にすればいいんだろ。
Wow, seriously, Shiro? Where are you gonna get the fucking money? Alright, if you say that'll take responsibility, I'll pay for half the jewels you use.
本当？男に二言はない？
What's that gonna make you think? Really? A man wouldn't back out of that, right? You don't have enough experience with the men. I mean, some men definitely would, but Shiro is not the kind to. Shiro definitely would. The thing is, I'm pretty sure it's more of a sentimental... I think it's more than just the money, but she's using that as an excuse. But he takes it seriously because he's so blunt, which forces her to lose the excuse. So that's the question. This is the financial bad-end. That's the question. Is she going to then fold in and actually give in because Shiro called her bluff, as it were, even though he didn't know he was calling her bluff? Or is she going to double down and create a new bluff? A man wouldn't back out on that, right? Well, maybe I would assume there's a couple ways this could happen. If she doesn't double down on the bluff, if she actually gives in and just uses all the jewels, then to me that's because of a bit of, the dare to the sun. That's the realizing that, realizing her feelings for Shiro even more and being like, well, if Shiro really will pay for half, and he said he was going to, then if I created a new bluff, that would be mean to Shiro, and I like Shiro, so she'd be giving into that by using them all, etc., etc., etc. Shiro dies in the street after losing his home. I bet he could get some fight. Shiro's a nice person, and what that I feel like that would pay off for him because of how many people he's been nice to. Like, he's got the job and he's got, Taiga. I think they would help him pay it back. Even if he didn't originally accept the money, there'd be a character arc where eventually he'd be forced to accept the money, and Rin would feel all bad and stuff and be like, no, damn it, I'll just fucking pay for it. It's okay. I get that you're poor or whatever. Because she probably actually is fine on money, I would assume. But, I mean, I know she's not completely fine, but she's fine-ish. She's half fine. Anyways.
ない。俺だって少しは貯金あるし、足りなかったら稼いで返す。登坂が溜め込んだ武器を使ってもらうわけだし、俺だって少しは誠意見せないとな。
No, I have some money saved up, and I'll work and repay you even if that's not enough. We're having you use a weapon that you've saved up, so I have to show some sincerity. Duh, that's so well sincere. Duh, that's cute. That's cute. Oh, if I was Rin, I would blush. But that because I bet that she is bluffing, but the fact that he's willing to do that is a very very gentlemanly thing. Spice and Wolf. I gotta get around to actually watching more Spice and Wolf. I've seen a bit and I like it, but then I'm like, oh, it ends on a cliffhanger, so I just never got around to watching more, but... Oh, that's the thing. Spice and Wolf Season 3. The fact that it's never happened. Well, it's more like being obstinate than sincerity. Shut up. You say it's obstinate. It's okay. You could just say it's sincerity, but your inner monologue has to deceive you. Really? Wow. Okay. You could have just done the gentlemanly thing and been gentlemanly, but really, it's just that you're really obstinate about Rin, you know. Well, maybe you are being gentlemanly and you're lying to yourself that you're not being gentlemanly because you don't want to admit that you have feelings for Rin too. That's weird because you just really, because you're having the feelings for Saber? Possibly. It's interesting. It's more like being obstinate than sincerity. He could, if it's obstinance, then that would imply that he's doing this just because he wants to be the winner of this, even if it means he has to fucking pay her a bunch of money. But that's so petty. Is Shiro really that petty? I don't think so. Shiro's a nice guy, but he doesn't, you know, he talks down to himself too much. I think he is being gentlemanly, but doesn't want to accept that he's being gentlemanly. Anyways, yeah. I guess I want to show off to Osaka. You want to show off that's right, I'm great. I'll show you how great I am, and then I'll be forced to pay you a bunch of money, no matter how petty it is. But unless you're admitting that you have the super feelings for her, you could still have the super feelings for her with the generosity. It could be bundled in, but What's going on? You're smiling really crookedly. Is it a crooked smile? Is she crookedly smiling? What, easy money? Because she thinks she can really get him whipped? I assume that she'd be more blushing. Maybe she's crookedly smiling because it's true that it wasn't about the money, but she thinks this is a way to get some easy money. Probably a combination of that and, This definitely seems like a bit of Shiro-Rin chemistry.
嬉しいのは本当だし、楽しみができたのも本当だから。
I wouldn't call that a crooked smile. I've seen her crooked smiles. This is a more genuine blushy smile, I think. It's just that seeing any kind of smile probably makes Shiro wary at this point, now that he's sort of seen her true colors-ish. So he's gotten wary of any of the time that she smiles, assuming she's plotting something, when really it could just be her dare side. It's true that I'm happy, and it's also true that I found a certain enjoyment. I think she's just, you know, being super dare about Shiro's, you know, generosity, even though Shiro doesn't think of it as generosity because, you know, self-inflicted harm and all that.
ところでエミヤくん、この宝石一つどれくらいするのか聞かなくていいのかしら?
And there's also for taking advantage of his innocence, I guess, because that is actually a crooked smile. It was not crooked, and I think it started not crooked, but then became crooked because that's part of the duality of her personality. By the way, Emiya-kun, do you not need to ask how much one of these jewels costs?
まあ10万円ぐらいなんてことはないよな。
Well, it's not like it's only 100,000 yen, right? Which would be about $1,000.
ないわね。使い捨ての宝石ならそれぐらいでいいんだけど。
Nope, that would be about right if it was a one-time use. What do you mean one-time use? So you're saying it's a 9-time use? You're not saying closer to 900,000 yen? Or do you mean more than that? If it's like 1,000,000 yen, and that's like 10,000, which is a lot, but could certainly be more.
じゃあ20万円ぐらいとか。
Nijuma, nice. I know how to count numbers in Japanese now, so. Then something like 200,000 yen. Which, I mean,
半端な上がり方ね。でもないわよ。
That's a really odd increase, but that's not it. So is it just 900,000? Because that would be 9 uses?
じゃあ25万円じゃないか。
Okay, now the increase is just getting smaller and smaller. Then like 250,000 yen?
あのさ、普通こういう時って次の桁に移行しない?
Wouldn't you usually move on to the next digit? Because he really doesn't want to.
なんでいつまでも6の桁から上に行かないのよ。
Why don't you go above 6 digits?
言いたくないけど30万円。
I don't want to say this. Maybe 300,000 yen? She just said above 6 digits. You idiot.
だからなんで7桁に行かないの?
I'm telling you, why aren't you going to 7 digits? Because it would hurt his pride, because he'd have to turn you down and say, no, I can't do that, because there's no way he could get that much. I mean, you could, because 7 digits would be, you know, that would be about, you know, $10,000-ish, which would take probably a long time to work off. But he could probably do it. Also, how much does he have saved up?
もしかして100万円ですか？
Yep. Could it be a million yen? I ask, feeling like I'm jumping off a bridge. Let me guess, it's even higher.
近い。もう一桁。
One more digit. Oh god, it's 10 million yen? $100,000 is a lot. That could be something he'd be working his whole life to get back. But what's below me is a hole leading straight to hell. To be fair, he only has to get half of it though. So, you know, 50,000 is still pretty bad, but it's astronomical. I can't imagine such a large number. If you convert it into damages, it would kill any enemy boss. Depends on the game. Maybe not in Disgaea. Those numbers get big.
どうしたの？顔青いわよ、エミヤくん。
What's wrong? You look pale, Emiya-kun. Okay, I can now respect how much worth each one of these has. But, you know, even still, I doubt you save them up just to sell them. I'm sure you use them to fight, and this is the fight.
いや、大丈夫。ちゃんと計算ぐらいできる。
No, I'm fine. I'm okay. I can calculate fine. I can, but it's working against me in this case.
さ、じゃあ一応聞いておくけど、宝石使っていいのよね。出し惜しみなしですがすがしいぐらい派手にやるわよ。
Then I'll ask you just in case. But I can use my jewels, right? I won't spare anything. I'll use them without holding anything back. I mean, good. You should be using all of them. Interesting that she's giving in because of this. I really do think the monetary thing was a bluff, but this shows that, you know, she's into Shiro, but also she likes interacting with Shiro. I was going to say messing with Shiro, but I that's a little mean. She does like messing with Shiro, but I just think she likes the personality of Shiro and seeing how it reacts to what she says more than her, I think, more of a sentimentality reason for holding on to the jewels would be my assumption. Dash ellipses. Or no, exclamation point, no dashes. I swallow my words, trying to tell her to use them sparingly if she can. No, don't do that. This is good. Get her to use them all. If you win the war, if you lose the war, you're probably dead. If you win the war, you can just wish for like $1 million or something. It's easy. Easy peasy.
登坂、借金いいかな？
Can I have credit? Can you give me a Tosaka brand credit card? I show as much courage as I can. But he's still saying he'll do it, even if it, you know, with credit.
もちろん、利子はつけないであげるから、一生かけて返してね。
Of course, I won't put interest on it, so you can take your whole life to pay me back. You like bullying me in the moment, but you wouldn't actually let that happen, I'm sure, as it would, because you enjoy the thought of me thinking that because you like tormenting me a little bit, because you like interacting with me, period, as I went over a while back, is that you don't really have much friends you can talk with about magic stuff. I'm like the only one, so whether it's happy thoughts or negative thoughts, if they make you happy, you like taking them out on Shiro, as it were. But when it actually got down to it, she wouldn't actually let you waste your whole life away, I'm sure. Or she'd be like, yes, you can waste your whole life away, but it's okay, you don't have to, because we'll be married, so we'll share the debt. I don't know if she's going that far in her head, but subconsciously maybe. Tosaka-san answers seriously without a trace of humor. Oh, there's plenty of humor. I'm sure she finds plenty of humor with that trace. I can't pay back an amount that large even if I use my whole life. It depends on your job. Man. I don't want to think about it, but I feel like Tosaka controls my life now. What is it about me and liking it when women control my life? I liked the Ilya route. Sounds like a fun financial Tosaka route too. But also, I believe that Tosaka wouldn't actually do that. She would eventually feel bad for me. But and her feeling bad for me would be a good excuse for us to get closer. So we reach an open clearing in the forest. Arturia and Shiro and Rin are best pals now. Yeah, this does feel like it's going towards... It's interesting. I wasn't sure how they would eventually settle their differences, and the solution was they didn't. I kind of sort of expected that to happen. like, I thought it could have went in a couple of directions of Shiro. It could have been Shiro and Rin finally fighting and getting each other taken out that way. But this did seem kind of likely. Archer sacrificing himself. I just didn't expect him to go down when there was still, like, 5 left. Especially when we still hadn't even seen the last one. But, it does seem like Rin... It's definitely turning into a bit of a threesome, where Rin wants to probably actively help Shiro after this fight and through the rest of the war. And I think in Rin's mind, as long as she sticks with him, then after the fight, the one thing she maybe wants is to be more with Shiro, and so that couple could happen. But Saber gets in the way of that because Shiro really, I think, kind of wants Saber, even if he hasn't really grasped the idea of it coming to an end. If he had a wish, if he got his wish, if he won, he would probably wish for Saber to stay around, and that would kill Rin's wish, as it were, even if it's not a literal wish. So it makes the whole situation kind of uncomfortable, because in a way, Rin would want Shiro to not win, to not get his wish to come true, but she wouldn't really think long-term like that, and also, you know, a bad guy could always get their wish to come true if Shiro doesn't get his wish. It's a complicated threesome that I hope doesn't get too icky with emotions. Because threesomes in my mind can get rather icky, but not that icky threesomes can't be fun in their own way, just that usually they're predictably icky in a way that I just find kind of boring. Anyways, I mean, we don't know 100% there's 5 left. Masters and servants could have been taken down off screen. That is also what I would call boring, so I doubt that is the case. I mean, Archer was taken off screen, but, like, that's a little different. Reach an open clearing in the forest. The sun is rising and the forest is darkened by the morning mist. They kill a berserker. Congratulations, you won! Turns out Ilya killed everybody else off screen! That would be rather anticlimactic. Compared to the inside of the dense forest, this place is an open view. Oops, that was a misclick. The sun is rising and the forest is darkened. Okay, by the morning mist.
トサカ、ここ悪くないんじゃないのか。
Tosaka, this place is okay, right?
そうね。条件はいくらかクリアしてるけど、見晴らしが良すぎるのがどうもね。これじゃあ私はともかくセイバーとシローの逃げ道がないもの。
Yeah, it meets several conditions, but I don't know about the view being so open. There aren't any escape routes for you or Saber. Well, that's great. Love that that's where your mind is. She's such a perfectionist, considering even the escape routes. Wow, that's you really thinking highly of her. Well, I guess anything to think highly of someone that's not yourself. Yeah, he's thought highly of her in the past, but now him blurting out, "Oh, you're such a perfectionist," is interesting. It's interesting. Because, you know, it's like he looks up to her skill, but maybe doesn't fantasize about her nakedly like he does Saber. Or maybe picking Rin really did put us on the Rin path. I don't know. It feels like this whole narrative is just one big Saber romance. At least it is at this point. Maybe I could have swerved that earlier on. Or maybe I can still swerve it, but that's what it feels like. Then again, there has been a lot of Rin, too. I can't deny how much Rin there's been. It just feels like Saber is more of the focus. But...
他を渡りましょう。大丈夫。まだ時間はあるわ。
Let's look for another place. We should have time. Maybe there'll be even more Rin now. And she is blushing again. Maybe that's what it was. She was feeling so awkward. Because I did think that she started to realize her feelings were Shiro. And maybe her approach was, I'm going to be all super awkward and stuff. Because it definitely seemed like she was doing her own thing. Because like, oh, I don't want to help you, Shiro. She wasn't helping us fight Shinji or whatever. And I'm more and more starting to think, based on how this is a blush, shut up! More and more what I'm starting to think is that, what she was doing was not wanting to get involved because she was feeling conflicted about her feelings with Shiro. And it wasn't so much that she was doing anything crazy on her own, I don't think. That's what I was thinking at the time, was there was some crazy thing on her own. But I think it was just that she felt awkward about the whole Shiro thing because she knew she'd have to fight him. And so she kind of wanted Shiro to get taken out or Saber to get taken out so she wouldn't have to worry about the awkwardness anymore. But this is another way for the awkwardness to go away. So she might start interacting with us more now. And if she does, that's my thought process on why she was so distant from us for a while. But if she doesn't, that'll be another interesting thing to think of. But Tosaka re-enters the forest. And then there's Saber. Ellipses. Saber stares in the distance and doesn't move.
セイバー、何してるのよ。早くしないとイリアスフィールに。
Saber, what are you doing? If we don't hurry, Ilias feel well. Oh, is it already too late? Dash. Oh, fuck, it's already too late. I feel a chill. Oh, boy. I can't forget it since I felt it once already. Uh-oh. I can't even see him nor feel his presence. He's invisible? Is that his next noble phantasm? He's got like 7. Just like how Archer had 6, but Berserker's the best, so he's got 7. This pressure on my body must be because of him. Oh, so you can just sense him nearby because he's got such a, he's radiating metachlorian so strongly you can feel his presence. Oh, geez. Fufu found you. Oh, were you, like, mentally tracking them? Iliasville? Is this him just fucking up because Berserker's nearby, so his vision and mental awareness is twisted? Or is she literally invading their minds, and that's what the fucked upness is about? This blue world reminds me of Ghost Trick, and how the world would get all ghostly in different colors depending on the ghost. I really like Ghost Trick. It's a great game. Usually, if you're scared to death, your vision goes red, so that makes me suspect that this is more a mental thing that Ilia is doing. A girl's voice echoes through the forest. Beyond the mist. Or was she just talking and that was Shiro being the stupid? From inside the forest far away, something black comes straight for us. Okay. Okay, this seems like a mental thing. This definitely seems like a mental thing. Hold on, I'll be there to kill you soon. Just wait, sweetums. Oh, sweetums, oh gosh. That's very much an Ilia thing to do, to announce her presence before she attacks. Just like how she announced to us who her servant is. Constantly overestimating. I mean, it's partially overestimating. She now has a reason to think it might be overestimating because of Archer, that she actually for once underestimated because she didn't know. But, she's amplifying her voice with magic. Yeah, same kind of thing. Amplifying, mental. It seems more mental. Is it because we're in a clearing under the open sky? I feel like Ilia is talking to us while looking down from the sky. So yeah, I think this has to do with her forest. The fact that it's her forest, she's probably this whole forest is sort of her hunting ground that, I mean, she called it her hunting ground, but that she had, kind of like how, a master's house is their, home turf. I think this whole forest is sort of Ilia's home turf, and she's got tricks and traps everywhere and can probably track us easily. But she's not going to take us by surprise. She'd never do that. That wouldn't be fun enough, and that wouldn't have enough pride for her as Iliasville. And so she has to announce her presence. Even though she was just shooken up, so she's probably going to have a resolve somewhat shaky. But we'll see. Not shaky enough to not do it like this. Because if she did try to sneak up on us, that would, if anything, just, that would be letting Archer win in her mind, I bet. Really, worrying about that shows, childishness, but, she is a child in that sense. Because she doesn't want to let Archer win, she has to keep going with the overconfident shtick, because that's what she's been doing until now, and to stop that, because of Archer, would be essentially letting him win in her mind, most likely. Boundary field, yeah. She found Shiro already. That's also not too surprising. Because probably when she kidnapped Shiro, she placed something on him. He has felt queasy ever since, so I'm not surprised that she can track him at this point. This is bad. This place is too open. Well, how fast are they going? It won't take them even 2 minutes to get here. As they say, no fight last contact with the enemy. So, Rin, if you're gonna hide, fucking hide now. Why are you two so relaxed? I I mean, we're not the ones that needs to hide and do the killing blow. We just have to fight. So we were just gonna fight anyways. You're the one who has to hide. I don't know.
ここじゃまずいって言ってるでしょ。早く場所を変えないと。
I'm telling you, this place is bad. We have to go somewhere else. I don't know if I've ever seen Rin look this frazzled. Like, this face is pretty uncommon for her. Maybe it's not that we've never seen it, but it's definitely uncommon. I guess after losing Archer, that would make her extra frazzled. Tosaka takes my hand. Oh, she takes my hand. Giggity. Is this his first base? We won't make it.
いや、ここでいい、登坂。
This place is fine, Tosaka. I think I agree. Best to prep here than try to find some other place. We could spend all of our time looking and never find a place and then lose. Whereas here, you know, I'm sure you're nervous and you wanted more time to prep, but we don't have more time to prep, so just find a hiding spot at this point.
3人で戦えるだけでも良好なんだ。これ以上は求められない。
We're lucky just to be able to fight with 3 of us together, so we can't wish for more. Aw, that's cute. You're counting Rin because, you know, she doesn't have Archer, so it's the 3 of us. That's cute. But also, I think you can wish for more. You could wish that Archer was still alive, you know, instead of him sacrificing himself because of you guys stupidly putting him in the position where that was the best move. So, you know, just saying you could maybe wish for a little more. Also, once you get the Grail, I would assume you'd have a wish to wish for more. But anyways, I'm getting ahead of myself.
バカ、それがまずいんだってば。ここじゃ横幅がありすぎるの。セイバーだけじゃバーサーカーを止められないし、いくら離れてたってあんたも前に入っちゃうじゃない。
Yet I'm telling you that's no good. There's too much space here. Saber can't stop Berserker by herself, and you'll be in his range no matter how far away you are. Okay. For once, I think you're overestimating Berserker, but underestimating me and Saber. You were all trustworthy of Archer that he could get the job done. And he did, to an extent, get the job done of distracting him. And without you knowing, he did actually kill Berserker a few times. But in this case, I feel like you should be more confident that, you know, Saber and Shiro can do our jobs. Maybe your confidence is frazzled because Archer did fail instead of succeeding, so you're trying to, you know, play it safe, find the safe route. That plays into why you're using less jewels. Maybe you expect to fail. Maybe that is what it is. That's why you only want to use a few, because you're expecting to fail, because Archer failed, as it were, and so you're bracing for the failure. But that's bad, because Archer said you gotta assume you'll hit. And, you know, in that sense, if you assume you'll miss, you probably will miss. So, in this case, yeah, I think Archer's failure has frazzled her. I think that also plays into why she wasn't going to use all her jewels. So, focus, Rin. You're going to win. You're going to win. Actually believe that you're going to win. I think you're doubting too hard that you'll win because of Archer's going down, which makes sense, but this isn't Zero Escape. Oh, I get it. I get the joke. That took me a second to get with the safe route. Anyways.
登坂が心配してくれてるのは分かってる。けど、危険なのはみんな一緒だ。それに、こうなっちゃ逃げ道なんかないんじゃないのか。
I know you're worried about me, but everyone's in danger now. And besides, there's no escape now, right? Also, technically, if you want to get technical, when 9 Hours, 9 Persons, 9 Doors originally came out, it was not under the moniker of Zero Escape, not until it was re-released. Therefore, I have never played a game titled Zero Escape, 9 Hours, 9 Persons, 9 Doors. Therefore, I don't know the safe route you're talking about. I only know the original 9, which was not Zero Escape, even if it was retroactively. But honestly, when I think of Zero Escape, I don't think of the first game, if I'm being honest. I know it is. It's part of the moniker now. They retroactively added it. But I think of the second one, and to a lesser extent the third one, when I think of Zero Escape. But that's why that comment caught me off guard for a second. I had to be like, what do you mean? Oh.
それはそうだけど。
That's true, but... Ready your butt cheeks, Ren. Ready your butt cheeks.
セイバーもいいな。ここでバーサーカーを迎え撃つ。
It's fine with you too, right, Saber? We'll take Berserker on here. Speaking of butt cheeks, and having them ready, ready as in, like, you know, to poop, because your butt cheeks are feeling like they may need to poop. What I'm saying is, I think my butt cheeks may need to poop. Normally, I would go for another 20 or so minutes. However, my butt cheeks may need to poop, and, you know, there's always that little dance of going on the toilet and being like, come on, toilet, come on, poop, come out. But then it may not come out, or it'll take a while to come out, so it could take a little bit. So I'm just going to stop here, I think, because by the time the poop is done, I'm going to be pretty close to when I would have to stop anyways. So, I am going to finish here. Yes, bathroom break. I'll come back from the bathroom on Monday. It's going to be a long bathroom break. Until then, I still don't have an outro phrase. See you guys next time. Let's Play video, YouTube. Goodbye. Stop recording.